Hey everybody, it's Abby from Craft Industry Alliance. I hope you are having a great Wednesday. We are here every Wednesday for our member spotlight where we get to drop in on one of our members and learn more about their work. And today we're going to be talking with Peggie from Nuna Knits. So Peggie, I see that you have joined and I'm just going to see if I can invite you to come, or you can invite yourself to come and join. Not sure if I can do that from here, but I will give it a try in a second. If you can probably request to join as well. But I'll give you a little bit of background about what's happening at Craft Industry Alliance while we wait for that. And that is that we have a TikTok webinar coming up December 2nd. So if you have been curious about how you might use TikTok for your small business, I hope you will join us on December 2nd at 1 o'clock Eastern when Vincent Greenheight from the TikTok account Not Bad, he's a crocheter, will be joining us to talk all about TikTok. So that's exciting. Okay, I see Peggie here. Peggie, hop on into our Instagram Live, and I'm looking forward to talking to you about your business, Nuna Knits. So, hey Peggie, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you, Abby?
Good, I like your hat.
Oh, thanks. It's like one of the things, berets are big, and I found, a source to make them, and then palms are big too. So they're all hand-dyed. They're a lot of fun, and they have a snap button so you can take them on and off and switch them and do anything creative with it.
That's super. So Peggie, tell us a little bit about what Nuna Knits is all about.
It started about, let's see, in 2000, I can't even remember. My son was 10. He's now 22, but it was, a family thing, how it started. And I had been a hobbyist for a long time, since my daughter was 8. And I thought that knitting would be a great way for left-right brain development, the mom thing. And then I started to take lessons at a local shop here on Long Island. And then it gravitated to me learning how to knit and spin. So spinning became a thing. And being a creative anyway, I was in the product and branding development business for at that time 30 years. Now it's 40 years. So creating product is what I know how to do, and sourcing supply chains is what I know how to do. So I sort of applied that to the fiber arts as a hobbyist. I became a certified wool classer in 2009. Wrote a book, a field book on the world's supply chain of sheep and wool, and taught third graders the world's economy based on the fibers of each country, and then the people that are involved in it, and how each country makes their living as they develop these natural fibers into products or supply chains, and then globally source it throughout the world. That's kind of how I did it.
That's great. Super cool. So talk to us a little bit about what Nuna Knits is like now. Like, what do you carry, and what are your favorite products?
Oh gosh, it's a hard one because, and you do the same thing. I mean, you're incredibly talented, can make anything, but you have a hard time deciding on what do you want to do next. So it started out with me going to local, like Rhinebeck Sheep and Wool. And because I'm a product developer, I saw what everyone was doing. And so what I tried to do was come up with my own, sort of in a small way, the things that create product. So in spinning and how to make roving interesting, I took and a short and a very small budget to work with. So you have to be resourceful, So what I would do was I would buy old knits, hopefully, wool, cashmere, silk, anything I could get my hands onto. And then I would shred it myself. So I created these sort of things that people, that like thrums, and they use that in industry. That's how we get speckled yarn. That's how they do it. They take waste and and the same goes for like silk noil. It's the same thing where they chop it all up, whether it's roving or whether it's garments, and then they make that into like like sari silk. I do that too. So it's been an evolution of going from the supply chain, which is fiber animals and plant fibers, to then creating product around that, whether for the hobbyist or the professional. And then from there, how to apply it. So just in like this sweater I'm wearing is a good example. So my background, or I want to say my ancestors were Italian and Irish. So they tend to be very fleshy in their body. We just are. So I never really looked good in drop shouldered sweaters, and they always made me look fat. Pretty funny. So I couldn't find the math for a set in sleeve. I couldn't find it, and I'm dyslexic, so I couldn't read the instructions. So through 3 books, I came up with a formula for myself that allows me to make knitted garments in a set in sleeve, and it works every time. Jackie Fee, Jackie Fee was the first one because she wrote the sweater workshop. So it's like a gauge page and percentage system. Then you have Mary Thomas, who is been around since the 40s, and she has a couture bias stitch that she does. And then Deborah Newton, she has a formula inside her books that teaches you what a capleen looks like, the style you want. And so in everything I do, it's based on the animal or the plant, the supply chain, then how you're going to develop it into yarn or spinning fibers, and then how are you going to put it in the marketplace. So I guess I think in a roundabout way, that's what I do.
Yeah, that's super cool. So do you have some samples around that you want to show us?
Sure. Let's see. What do I got? Let's see. Well, I'll just give you this because I'm in the middle of this. So, and I'm rusty. I haven't done it in a while. So here's like an example of like a sweater. And you can see that I'm creating the neck and how it's going to shape into the arm side. So it's a series of figuring out your body and doing the math. Like, okay, so you take your collar, you take your clavicle here, and you go, okay, how deep do I want the neck to be on a turtleneck? So it's like where your Adam's apple is to the top of your clavicle right here. So that's like, I think it's 6 inches. So you know that when you're dividing your sweater front into the shoulders and the neck, that when you get to 6 inches, then you got to, separate and do all your decreases. And from here to the top of the shoulder, I think for me, it's like 8 inches or 4 inches or whatever. I think it's 4 or 2 or something. So, because I wasn't prepared to get technical like this. So I apologize for my dyslexia. But anyway, so that's how this works. And so then what you do is then you do the Mary Thomas's couture edge that she invented. It's really the best because you don't sew. I don't want to sew. So when I do that, and on here, you see that edge right there? That's no sewing.
Beautiful.
So it's great. And actually the way I did this seam here is it's a mistake, but that's how I do it. Other things that I do, so because I was in the branding business and advertising business, I was able to, and I still do this, so I created this little booklet that I sew with yarns. So, and in here, it's got the history of Nuna, that kind of thing. And then it's got a bunch of patterns in here and philosophies in here. It's real, and kind of bringing the hobbyist into kind of my world, because I've found that a lot of knitters get really distracted, or they get so frustrated with the instructions, and so you have to constantly go from left to right brain at the same time. And I know myself, it's very difficult. So that's what I do. I also had the opportunity to work with a mill. So here are alpaca socks.
Oh, cool.
Now, yeah. So the mill that I chose, again, with the branding and the research and everything, I wanted a mill that was connected to Long Island. So of course there was, now who would ever know, but research. So the Tuttle family out here on Long Island in Orient has been here since 1635. And the family that has this mill is 12th generation. So that's why I chose the mill. And so we make these, I make socks with them. And what they do for me is the American consumer hates itchy wool. They just are
That's
big
true.
babies. I love them dearly, but you know. So what we did was we took a strand of very filament elastic and we put it in the back of the work like a blind stitch. You can't see it. You can't see it in the knitting, and the only way you can see it is in the back. And so that's enough of a barrier where, you know, the what they call softies in the world about wool, they won't feel it. So, and they wear like iron. I wear these socks. You can wear them for a month and not wash them because natural fibers do not carry odors.
Right. Totally.
They just, yeah, it's beautiful.
That would be an amazing holiday gift too.
I love them.
Nice soft pair of alpaca socks.
Yeah. And then the other thing they make for me is I'm a big skier, and you know, I'm a winter person. If I could have snow 24/7, I'd be very happy. So again, with like these right here, so these are what they call like it's like yarn overs. So it's like our heavy sock. So the same thing happens, but here you can see, I think maybe you can see it here. You can see, can you see the stitch there? So that's how the mill does it. It's a blind. You don't see it at all. So that's what I love about them. And yeah, and they never wear out. So, that's, you know, great. You just wash them in the sink, you wash them in the shower. And again, it's perfect. Other things I do, you can see the hats in the back.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can find, so excuse my person here. See? Okay, my hats. This is the hat that I wore to my daughter's wedding this past September. So I started the same way I started knitting. It was the same thing with hats, where somebody was giving a class locally, and I thought, well, let's see. I like hats. My favorite hat designer has retired, so I couldn't buy hats because I'm super picky. And I took a class, and so I started making hats for me, and then friends and colleagues and strangers would say, you really need to make them, Peggy. And I thought, oh. So I started, and it turned into the same process as my knitting philosophy about supply chain is the most important and genetics is the most important. The same thing goes for hats. So I have an aviary, local aviary here on the island where I go to his place and I forage for the feathers. So this is all turkey feathers. Cool. So turkey down, turkey wings. He has peacocks. And then this is just a little tidbit for everyone. I know you would appreciate this. So I look for vintage ostrich fronds because you can't get really anything like this anymore because of all the animal cruelty, I guess, and the flooding of the market of natural fibers. So, and this is just a technical thing. So back in the 30s, how they used to, I find this amazing, Abby. Like, think about this. They would take ostrich fronds and they would split the spines. And then they would put them back together, but they would sew them together so that this would create a curve.
Wow.
Is that amazing? Yeah. And they would sew, and then behind it that they would make a loop and strand it and make so there's like 3 or 4. So this is how you can't buy it. You can't buy it.
Yeah.
You have to make it. And then my ribbons, again, the same way. So with the same way of supply chains for everything, ribbon. So for ribbon, you can't get cotton anymore. Cotton grosgrain. So there's only one mill that I know of in the world that makes ribbon the way you and I as designers, makers, and hobbyists, if you're, love natural things, it's Julien Farrar in France. So Julien Farrar in France only makes ribbon for Dior, Givenchy, Chanel. That's it. It's it. That's all. And so then there's a ribbon place here on the East Coast. That's all they carry is Julien Farrar ribbons. I can't buy it from the mill because it's 50 meters, which is like one spool cost me a couple grand. So that's not happening. And then I go to eBay and I go to Etsy and because of my knowledge of supply chains and knowing how to spin, I can buy vintage stuff and I know it's authentic.
Right. Super cool. Thank you for this peek into your world, your knowledge base, and the creativity that you put
Thank
toward
you, Abby.
making all of these projects. So tell people where they can go to find them and find you online.
Well, they can find me on Instagram at Nuna Knits. It's all one word.
Okay.
Facebook is the same. And on the web, it's nunaknits.com.
Wonderful.
And they can always call me. I mean, I'll pick up the phone.
That's
and
great.
It's an independent. I have a studio. I don't have a storefront yet, but we're working on that.
Thank you so much, Peggie.
Just at the end, I want to thank you for all the work you're doing.
You're welcome.
You are amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome, and thanks for the opportunity as always.
Wonderful. This was really great.
Thanks, Abby.
Thank you so much. And thanks for everybody who came today, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.